morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and welcome to Tuesday. Yes, the clock is ticking. We'll have another Fed rate hike next week. I guess maybe there's a question of how big it is. I don't think so. I think it's going to be 50 basis points. But once again, the bond market continues to struggle. The Dow is down again today. Gold and silver are higher today. We had some profit taking, a good sign, healthy sign, a little profit taking in those markets yesterday. And I think that we're setting ourselves up for one of these situations where inflation is still here. And I know, got some cheaper gas, at least here in Phoenix. Hey, listen, I think I filled up, I think it was less than $4 for the first time. Gosh, I can't remember when. Enjoy it while it lasts. We'll get oil inventory reports tomorrow. We get them every week. We'll see if this trend of 8 million barrels less oil a week continues. A lot of commotion and talk about what the next steps are for the Dow, and what's happening in the jobs market. The credit agencies are starting to warn now. Yesterday, the Bank of International Settlement said, this isn't good, right? Another one of these off-balance sheet derivatives issue. Amazon now saying the 10,000 layoffs, probably closer to 20,000 layoffs. And as I warned, I think it was last week, the cost of green leafy vegetables. Get ready. I mean, get ready for them to be a lot more expensive. Fast food chains, listen, there's talk. I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but they're talking about having a separate line item for lettuce. In other words, hey, the Taco Bell taco is still, I don't know, whatever it is, $2. But yeah, we got to charge you 10 cents for lettuce. There's also talk about, not just leafy greens, tomatoes as well. They're saying that lettuce has had a 40% crop loss in California. And, of course, remember, the next water cuts here in Arizona, Yuma's on the list, and that's leafy greens. When California's out, Yuma takes over. They provide most of the leafy greens to the United States. They're saying that leafy greens are 20% higher than a year ago. Various reports, Subway, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, scrambling to make sure customers understand what's going on. Now, I don't do a lot of fast food, so I don't know. There may be signs up. You remember, there's a coin shortage, and you got to have exact change and all those signs for a while. I don't know, maybe they're up. They may be out. If they're not, don't be surprised if you start seeing them. They want us all to understand adjusting prices or removing certain items off of the menu. A Panera spokesman said the chain is remaining flexible with receipts, working with suppliers to meet lettuce needs. Now we can't even get lettuce. I mean, it's bad enough when they say, computer chips, but now we're down to we can't get lettuce. Chick-fil-A in its app, due to a global supply chain challenges, we may be temporarily out of lettuce. Now, I don't know about this global thing. I mean, I don't know everywhere we get lettuce from. I know California, Arizona, primary, maybe Mexico, but Taco Bell has been sending out its warning. So, no, I know why I haven't gotten them. I don't have any of these apps. On its apps, that is a matter of caution. In cases for fans of their tacos, maybe a little shy. Yeah, we're just a little shy on the greenery side of things. So if your taco looks a little light on the lettuce. I guess, and you know what? It's not funny. I mean, it is and it isn't. But get ready for more of this, because like I said, the water cuts haven't even really happened yet. Produce is going to be much more expensive coming into 2023. This is why I said there's all these pitfalls to these plans, and that won't even matter. Here's the sad part about the leafy greens. I don't know that job cuts helps that, right? As just a way of thinking about it. If you can't grow the lettuce, right? Does it really matter if a couple less million people are eating lettuce? Probably not. But just things that we need to be aware of and understand when they're talking about inflation. The whole story yet to be written. Go out to allamericangold.com today. We got a great interview with Mohammed El-Arian, kind of saying the same thing. Hey, the Fed, listen, they were late. Let's not forget, they wasted an entire year. And really a year when people were still getting checks. I mean, what a great time it would have been to start raising rates. They wasted a whole year then, and now they're trying to slow walk this thing. And those are things that normally don't work when it comes to inflation. And we saw it in the jobs report last week, right? We had a good number, but that labor cost number keeps getting hotter. We'll see. When we get back, we got a market update and then an item on sale. Yeah, we're going to be the cheapest in the country again, and it's an item we've been out of for a while. That's coming up next. 800-951-0592. The Dow's down 217. The S&P down 47. The NASDAQ down 200. Gold's up 6.5. 1774. Silver's up 5 right now, 22.25. This market update brought to you by my friends at Y-Refi. We talked about these guys yesterday. Another great alternative to not having your money in the market. I mean, the market volatility right now. We got President Biden in office. The guy doesn't even know which way to get off the stage. High fixed rate of returns. This is what we're looking for. Safe places to put money. High fixed rates of return. Nothing to do with this market. Hey, listen, Jay Powell could raise rates 75 points, 100 basis points. He could say we're going to raise rates for the next 10 years. It wouldn't affect you whatsoever. You know exactly what you're going to get every single month, month in, month out. Your interest is compounded daily. You can be paid monthly. The thing that I like to, you know me about fees. I hate fees. No fees here. Take time to look at this. You get up to 10.25% annualized returns. I've had people already, only been day 2. It sounds too good to be true. It isn't. Make sure you check it out. Go to invest. Y, the letter Y, refi.com. That's invest, the letter Y, then REFY.com, or simply call them at 888-YREFI24. That's invest, refi.com, 888-YREFI24. Hey, listen, do me a favor. Make sure you told them I sent you there as well. Check out my friends at Y-Refi. Getting back to things. Oh, by the way, I anticipate Jason to be back tomorrow. There wasn't a ton of economic data out today. One of the big things, I guess, was out was Fitch. So when you think about rating agencies, you got S&P, you got Fitch, and of course now, here we go. I'm getting ready to do the piece. The third Experian finally came to my mind. They sent out a warning over the weekend. This is again another one of these signs, right? Because there's always these early warning things when you know the next crisis is getting ready to come. And the warning was on the outlook for state and local governments. Man, that didn't take long, did it? I mean, think about this. They used COVID as a way to prop up, and really primarily in these blue states, these budgets. And we've heard less and less about budget surplus or budget shortfalls, states spending money like crazy, talking about budget surpluses. Fitch says, hey, this thing's deteriorating rapidly as an expected recession will pressure state and local governments to raise property taxes. So again, this is another one when we talk about assets. Owning land and property, it's a good thing. It is. But there are liabilities that go along with it. And obviously, taxes being the biggest one. I think we're done. You think about, we've probably gone from Reagan to today. So over the last 40-ish years, this tax reduction cycle, most of it for business. I'm not saying personally, because, they really whacked us in the 80s with that Social Security tax and did some of that other stuff. This low tax environment, and I know a lot of you are thinking, Joe, what is Joe talking about, low tax? 25% of my paycheck gets taken out every week. That doesn't seem like low tax. It's all going to get worse. It's all going to get worse. That's why I'm telling you, you need to call Joey as well. Make sure your portfolio is tax efficient. This could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars out there. But here's what Fitch is saying. Local governments are going to see a slowed growth and most likely the possibility of contraction in tax revenue associated with real property valuations, right? Now think about this. We're talking about housing. Everybody knows, hey, housing prices are going down. Now we can debate how much, but they're going down. They're going lower, which means when they do the valuation on the property tax to collect on your house, they're going to get less. By the way, I would tell a lot of you, plan on contesting your property taxes because, they're going to say your house is worth a whole lot more than what it is. But neither here nor there. Here's what they say. It's going to trigger what they call expenditure controls or revenue-raising measures to preserve budget stability. Got to remember now, states have to at least submit balanced budget proposals. And what Fitch is saying is, hey, are they going to actually cut things, or is it good? My guess is for most states, it's probably going to have to be a combination. States like Arizona, as an example, Colorado, where property tax or home prices shot way up, Florida, Texas, right? We could see significant shortfalls there. They're saying that property taxes are expected to rise more quickly than in the past. So in the past, when they've had this, and you got to remember, right, these states, they're so bloated. They're just another mini version of what's been happening federally. Right? Government has gotten way too big. It's ridiculous. Think about at the federal level. Do you know that we've collected record taxes for 2-3 years now, ever since COVID started? Record. They've never collected more taxes. Over $4 trillion worth of taxes. And we're nowhere close to a balanced budget. I mean, they tried to brag about having the deficit was only 1.3 or 1.4 trillion dollars. Of course, I told you there was a lot of how do you say? Number sliding in that number that goes away. I think we're going to have $2 trillion plus budget deficits. I would not be surprised if 2024 it's $3 trillion. But now they're saying that this is state and local stuff. Robust revenues, in many cases exceeding pre-pandemic levels, leave state and local governments well positioned, except for, see, and here's what the problem was. They spent way too much of it, and just like anything else, oh, well, we got this revenue. Hey, I got an idea. Let's just spend it all. A significant, deeper, prolonged recession will lead governments toward credit negative budget choices. Now remember, as soon as the credit slips, what happens? Just like my friends at Y-Refi, well, how do they help all these student loan borrowers? Well, once the credit gets damaged, right? They can't get anybody to help them, right? And when it comes to local and state governments, once the credit slips, everything starts to cost more, and they're already loaded with debt. Now all of a sudden, the cost of supporting all of that debt starts to rise, just like the government, right? The Federal Reserve keeps raising rates. It costs the government, it costs us, it costs the taxpayer. It doesn't cost the government, it costs the taxpayer. That's exactly what's happening here. All Fitch is doing is telling us, hey, taxpayer, get ready. And oh, by the way, the worse it gets, the more you're going to have to pay. And they're saying that sustained pension funding and what they call deferrals and delayed payments to pension funds. And again, this is another huge legacy cost. They gave a bunch of money to governments to kind of cover up those pension shortfalls. What Fitch is saying is those are coming back. And what the state governments tend to do is delay those payments. They don't put the money in, right? It's not working for you. You can't get rates of return and whatnot, and all of a sudden you're looking at credit downgrades. They said that state and local governments also that rely on tax revenue, including income and sales tax. So think about this. Fitch is saying this is going to be a double whammy for states and local. The first part was housing losing value, and a housing, commercial real estate, you name it, the property tax piece. They said, but then there's the other side, tax revenue, income, and sales tax, which react very quickly to economic change. Throw that in with property tax and all the other key revenue sources for local governments. The twin dynamics of a rapidly cooling housing market and a commercial real estate market adjusting to what they're calling the pandemic shift away from offices is going to put the states back into the spotlight. And again, go back. Remember, they don't like to fix anything. We talked about it during the financial crisis. They didn't fix it. They said they said they did. They got Jim Cramer to go out on TV and tell you, booyah! Booyah! Dodd-Frank, oh, this is great! Well, how great is it? Let's seriously, let's just talk about it for a minute. How great is Dodd-Frank that the Bank of International Settlements just came out and said, oh, we got another problem with these derivatives already? Heck, they haven't even admitted that we're even in a recession yet. Now Fitch comes out and says, oh, hey, by the way, all those problems with the pension funds and shortfalls that we saw during the financial crisis, oh, yeah, don't worry. Yeah, they're probably going to come back. And the worse it is and the longer it is, the more painful it's going to be. And, of course, what did Fitch say? They didn't really, notice what they didn't really talk about. They gave it like not even a whole sentence. Think about this. They gave cuts like half a sentence. The whole thing in their press release was get ready for the states to charge you more taxes. Isn't that the wrong solution? The right solution is we need to get rid of all this government. But again, so many people are dependent upon it that they've got us convinced that we need this huge government. And guys, I'm telling you right now, this is the collapse of the empire. We've got to get back to limited government. Look how well things can work if you let free markets go to work. We don't need any student loan reprieves. We need Y-Refi. That's what we need. Capitalism would always come up with the answer, but somehow too many people believe that the government needs to give them the answer. And now all of a sudden, watch us, we are going to collapse under the weight of all of these debts. And this is again, the multiple levels of collapse is starting to stack up, isn't it? Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Gold's up 7, almost 8 now, 1776. Oh, that's a cool year, 1776. Silver's up 10 cents here, 22.30. The Dow is down over 200 points. I got a great opportunity. I got a small opportunity now, and the first opportunity to buy 2023 coins. This is going to be on the 10th ounce, 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagle. And again, all these major internet guys right now, everywhere you look, 10th ounce gold Eagles, 260, 270, 280. I've seen places, I mean, it's nuts, $300. These are going to be 2022 gold, 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles. Here's the thing. I got only 200. So that's just 4 rolls. $240. And those will be delivered next week, $240. I mean, on average, we're $30 a coin cheaper than all these online guys out there. If you would like to purchase the 2023 1/10 ounce Gold Eagles, you can do so today as well. Those will also be $240. So if gold continues to rise, right, what a great value that would be. I don't know what gold's going to do between now. These will be delivered, by the way, the 2023s would be delivered at the end of January. So you're talking, let's call it 7 weeks or so, 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. So we've got the 2022s. We have 200 of them at an average cost of $30, and really more than 30, because a lot of these places, to get to their 268 and 265 prices, you got to buy more than I even had. Yeah, I think you got to buy like 1,500 of them. I only got 200. 200 of them, $240 on the 2022s. And then you can also pre-order your 1/10 ounce 2023s at that same price of $240. Now, you do have to pay for those 2023s now. So those of you that would normally pick up, you'd have to mail in a check or do something like that, or wait till they're a lot closer to delivery date for the pickups. 800-951-0592. Saxo Bank. They do this every year. They come out with, hey, the Fed and the central bank spin may not be what's really coming down the pipe. And they make what they call the outrageous predictions. They're calling for an almost doubling of the gold price. Matter of fact, they're saying $3,000 gold in 2023. I hope not. But that would mean that Jason and I, we're actually a little light on how bad we think it's going to be. That gets a lot worse. By the way, the primary reason for that, besides all the craziness, is a massive collapse of the Japanese yen. We've gotten a reprieve from the yen, right? Remember, the yen broke through 150, and then the Fed started. We're going to slow rates hikes down and all that stuff. And right now, the yen's like at 136, 137. But Saxo says, and it makes sense, right? I know we've got a debt problem. The Japanese have a significant debt problem. Any belief in the return to a disinflationary pre-pandemic economy is impossible, they say. That we've entered in what they're calling a global war economy. And think about this. Energy, right? Oil, natural gas, the green energy, the wind, the solar. We're having countries coming out and telling people, hey, stock up on food, stock up on water, stock up on blankets, because we don't know if there's going to be heat. We don't know if there's going to be power. Hey, we don't even know. Right? Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell are telling their customers, if you got their app, they're telling, hey, by the way, we may not have any burrito coverings. Right? Yeah, can I get the shredded beef burrito? Well, yeah. Well, what would you like on that? Lettuce? No, sorry. Oh, guacamole? Tell you what we can do. How about tomatoes? No, don't have that either. But you know what you can have? We got cheese and sour cream. Those are your two choices today. Or, well, I'd like to. What do I got to pay? What do I got to pay for those burrito coverings? Right? Hey, the burrito, I don't know what a burrito, whatever a burrito is, $8.99. Oh, you want lettuce, guac, and tomato? Yeah, that'll be $18, right? That's what's coming. They're talking about this global war economy. Every major power around the world scrambling to shore up national security on all fronts, whether it's actual military, profound supply chain, energy, and even financial insecurities that have been laid bare by the quote-unquote pandemic experience. Of course, then the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I got to throw that in there. Saxo says these predictions are not what they're saying their official market forecast is. But this is just by the way. If you think that this isn't possible, yeah, you're crazy, and be prepared. And again, I don't know, $3,000. I hope not. That's all I'm going to say. I think we're going to see $3,000 gold. I hope it's not 2024 or 2025, but they're saying it could be next year. They're talking about a billionaire coalition, sort of a Manhattan Project for energy, right? How bad is the energy thing going to get? That's kind of interesting. I know we're getting ready to come up on the break here, but when we get back, we'll go through their top 10, starting with number 1, a billionaire coalition on energy. Just what we need, richer billionaires controlling our energy. Patriot Radio News Hour, get those 10,000. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592, 2022 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles. We had about 215 to start. We have less than 200 now. Cheapest anywhere at $240 on these 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagle. We call it the Golden Dime because it's the size of a dime. They come in these little tubes. There's 50 of them in a tube. We're also taking pre-orders for 2023. By the way, cheaper than all those other companies on those as well. There's several of them taking pre-orders. Also at that $240 at 800-951-0592. And I'm telling you, having barterable material you're going to be so happy because the digital, it's coming, and it's coming like a freight train. Wait till I get to this list. There's a couple more reasons on this list to do it. So number one, kind of a billionaire-created, trillion-dollar Manhattan energy project. I think that's already there. These billionaires, they're dominating the green energy markets. Number two, French President Macron resigns. And again, as these crises unfold in Europe, is he one of those that could resign to be seen? Gold was number three. Gold to 3,000 as central banks fail on the inflation mandate. Man, and I think that's the case. They don't have the stomach for it. This 2% thing, I think there's a good chance that falls by the wayside. But they mentioned a lot of things. Central bank, the buying from central banks. Listen, this is going to be a record. Think about this. 2022 is going to be a record year for central bank gold purchases. Saxo says expect that to continue. The geopolitical backdrop that is going to remain. A massive investment in new national security priorities, including energy sources, the energy transition, the supply chain. Third, the rising global liquidity as policy makes a move to avoid the debacle in the debt markets and saying that it's going to hurdle gold to the $3,000 level next year. 4, how about this one? An EU Army force, right? I mean, as we watch the Russian-Ukraine thing happen here, are we going to see the EU try to, again, get rid of borders? I mean, that's the way I look at it. This move for to rid us of borders, one world government, that surely would fit. How about this one? This one, I don't know if it happens next year. This one's happening somewhere. A country agrees to ban all meat production by 2030. Man, I mean, is this is where we're headed. I mean, could it be, right? Is the cattle rancher an endangered species? More than a third of the cereal grains grown globally are used for animal feed. And around 80% of the global arable land is used for grazing animals. Some of it claimed by former forest and even rainforest errors. And they're saying all this biodiversity and the possibility of, hey, in order to feed everybody, meat is too big of a luxury. And oh, by the way, right, it's bad for the climate. I guess we probably something we got to talk about. When is that going to happen? I think that is very likely that sometime, I don't know about next year, but in the next 2 to 5 years, I wouldn't be shocked to see that happen. The UK holds an un-Brexit referendum. Remember, the UK left the EU. Do they come back to the EU? I guess, EU military force. And then this one. I hope this one's wrong. Widespread price controls are introduced to a cap official inflation numbers. It's already really started, Right? Price controls have already started, right? They're already trying to implement price controls on Russian oil. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't understand why these people insist on doing this. Has been tried so many times before. It doesn't work. It has the exact opposite effect. This is nonsense. But they said also expect windfall taxes, things of that nature, especially in energy. 8, and I hope this one's wrong, OPEC and Chindia, so OPEC, China, India, walk out of the IMF and agree to trade with new reserve assets. I think this is a lot closer than people think. I think our relation with Saudi Arabia is not good at best. The fact of the matter is we really don't buy a lot of oil from the Middle East at all. China's their main customer. Walking out on the IMF, I don't. That's a bold step, but I definitely see them walking in that direction. But the death nail would be Saudi Arabia and OPEC announcing that they would sell oil in Chinese renminbi. That would cause a massive problem in the U.S. debt markets. When we get back, we'll go through the last two on the list. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592. 10th-ounce American Gold Eagles 2022s. $240. Unfortunately, we have a very limited supply. We are taking pre-orders on the 1/10th-ounce American Gold Eagles for 2023, also at $240 at 800-951-0592. Keep adding to those portfolios. And again, this is Saxo Bank's. These are the outrageous predictions of 2023. And here's the sad part. They're not that outrageous. They're really not. Number 9, the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, fixed at 200. Remember, I threw that number out there this year. I mean, the yen is, well, let's face it, it's done. There's no value in it. But again, will that obviously would create a huge shock to the system globally in this whole inflation thing. Because, Japan's reached that point. They can't raise rates. They raise rates, the budget deficit blows up, right? They don't raise rates, inflation blows up. They're stuck in that Pandora's box. And then last but not least, think about the warning from Fitch today. It said government, state and local government's going to have a problem. Taxes are going to be a lot less in 2023. The tax haven bills kills private equity. And this is something where, and we know this, the powers that be reward the billionaires, reward the multinational corporations, allow for all these tax haven loopholes. We know them, the Cayman Islands, Bermuda, the Bahamas, and others, right? These are commonplace, right? No shock that crypto collapse happened in, the guy happened to be in the Bahamas, right? That's where they go. It's kind of like legal criminalization, and now with the reduction in taxes coming in, the potential for governments to close those loopholes. Of course, the problem with closing those loopholes, right, it makes the equity markets not nearly as inviting. That was their top 10 list. And again, like I said, probably, it's last on the list. That's probably the least likely, right? Because they always like the billionaire friends. Come on, right? But all the rest Not so far-fetched. Really not far-fetched at all. And here's the problem. I think, if anything, it may just be a little early. Right? That a lot of these things, hey, it may not be 2023, but 2024 or 2025. Yeah, I see, especially that top five. I mean, I think all of those could happen within the next 24 to 36 months. Absolutely. All of those things could happen. And really, most of the top 10. Like I said, the only one that I'm a little suspicious is number 10. Right? Because, like I said, they seemingly love their billionaires. 800-951-0592.